In 2024, I made more money than I ever have in my entire life wholesaling real estate. In the past 8 years, I've done over 2,500 wholesaling real estate deals, and I can tell you without a doubt, the easiest, quickest way to get rich is through wholesaling real estate. So I'm currently 25 years old, and what I want to do is give you no BS advice to get rich as a beginner, getting started wholesaling real estate in 2025. Guys, I'm 25 years old, so I'm going to give you 25 lessons that you need to know to get rich in 2025. It's a new year. A lot of massive changes are happening in the wholesaling industry, but there's some fundamental things if you can master, you can get rich just like me wholesaling real estate. So the first thing we got to understand here is a seller wants convenience, not a realtor. What I mean by this is your motivated seller wants the convenience of a cash sale, not a professional crazy realtor. A lot of you guys are getting started wholesaling real estate pretending to be this macho realtor with the suit jacket and the professionalism and talking like a salesperson. At the end of the day, the seller wants to deal with somebody that is just going to buy their house. And if you're a little crazy with the real estate talk and you talk about MAO and comps and all these advanced things, and there's just a guy like me that, hey, I'm looking to buy your house, like, would this number work for you? They're going to go with the speed, convenience, and simple way. Most Americans can only read and talk at a 6th or 7th grade level. Guys, if you talk like you're this crazy doctor of medical type guy, like it ain't going to work. Make it really simple. Make the message simple with your sellers. Lesson number 2 here. Winners win and losers lose. I cannot say this enough, but the winners in wholesaling always win and the losers always find a way to lose. Now, I define a winner as somebody that gets their first deal, they get their second deal, and they're on the pathway to success wholesaling real estate. And I define a loser as somebody who quits the business. It's pretty much it. A winner is doing deals, a loser is not even trying to get a deal, right? They've quit. Now, if you're in between, right, I call you a winner in training, somebody that is going to become a winner, somebody that is going to become successful, right? That is what you are right now. So winners always are going to find a way to actually win. If you ever watch primetime LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, you guys might hate this guy, but Patrick Mahomes, you cannot knack their ability to win when it comes to clutch situations. And this is what you have to do. Have you ever had somebody that is always having a rough time or they're on a bad break in life and something's always happening to them and there's always an issue and just life is always rough on them? Get me away from those people. Those people I'm allergic to them, right? People that tend to always have something crazy happening in their life that's terrible. Some of it, yes, it's out of their control, but a lot of it's mindset issues. And you got to be someone that has a winner's mindset, because if you think like a winner, you end up becoming a winner. Earl Nightingale said this, and he said this in the 30s. That's the secret to success in life. People that think as a winner usually become the winner, and people that think as a loser become the loser. Number 3, and a super, super important one, leverage makes you rich, and leverage is scaling. And whenever I hear somebody talk about scaling, like I always thought, oh, scaling systems, CRMs. No, scaling is just leverage. And the point of leverage is to do the same amount of work and get more output done with that. Same thing if I go use a lever to pick up a 1,000 pound arm wall furniture set, right? With that lever, I can pick something up that's 1,000 pounds. If I try to pick it up, I'd break my back. And so doing the work of picking up maybe 50 pounds, I'm doing 1,000 pounds. That's the point of the word leverage. And it's not even scaling, right? It's about having people doing the work that you're doing. And so if you're looking to get rich, like trying to go from 100K to $1 million a year this year in wholesaling real estate, it's all about having the people, the systems, the processes, but mostly having the right people in place to do the work that you usually do. And it's really important to train these people and invest in them and pay them well. If you do this, you're not just going to go from 100K to 200K, right? You're going to go 100K to 500K, and you're going to pay them well, and you're going to make more money than ever. This is the secret to scaling. It is just leverage. Number 4, test anything and everything. It's embarrassing how long it took me to do this, but if you want to actually get success in real estate and in wholesaling, you have to be willing to do a lot of reps and try different things. If you look at the best bodybuilders of all time, right? They test different types of training and diets and see which one works best for their body. And then once they find out what works, they go all in on that. Same thing with athletes, right? Like if I look at a football player, I love football, right? Probably a great athlete is like, okay, well, let me try to become a wide receiver. And they're like, that's not working. Well, let me try to throw this ball. Wow, I could really throw it far. I'm not fast, but I could throw it far. Someone like Joe Burrow is a great example. If Joe Burrow tried to become a wide receiver or running back, he'd probably get killed, right? But if you put him behind the line and he throws the ball, he is amazing because he's tested out probably all the positions when he was doing Pop Warner. You kind of have to do the same thing, just like basketball. Are you a good dribbler or sharpshooter? What are you going to do, right? It's important to test a lot of different things. The example here in wholesaling is testing out every single type of marketing out here. Now, guys, I talk a lot of snot about some marketing that I don't like. I'm not a fan of PPC. I'm not a fan of Facebook ads. I'm not a fan of YouTube ads for wholesaling. But heck, I will die at this hill if you're somebody that is doing PPL and you're closing $50,000 deals with only spending $1,000. Ignore all my advice, go all in on that because you just have to do what's working and don't do what's not working. So test everything. I've been wrong so many times. Heck, there's somebody that I know that I told them don't do MLS and then they went against my advice and now they're making 70 grand a month wholesaling MLS, which it just doesn't work for me. Just try everything out. Try the calling, texting, just try it all. That's all I can tell you and put at least 15 to 20 hours into every single type of channel and list you do and just try out what's giving you the best return on your investment and return on time. You'll be shocked at the results of what works and you go all in on that. Number 5, good artists copy, great artists steal. And what I mean by this is the greatest entrepreneurs and investors and people I look up to, they don't copy things. They outright steal them. And I'm not saying that of like an intellectual property theft type way, but just use what other people are using. Pablo Picasso made that quote, good artists copy, great artists steal, because the entrepreneurs that I look up to have always stolen things. So what I mean by this is, if you ever watch Pirates of Silicon Valley, one of my favorite movies of all time, it shows how Bill Gates and Steve Jobs stole Xerox's user interface for their computer platforms and for the software. And Bill Gates is like, Steve, you stole my stuff. And like, well, we both stole from Xerox. Like, yeah, I stole your treasure, but you stole that treasure from the other guy. And the funny part about that is when you're all high and mighty on the ethics thing, I steal cash buyers every day. Steve Jobs also did not invent the touch phone. He did not invent the smartphone. He just perfected it, right? And you don't have to be the first person to create a smartphone, right? But Steve Jobs took the idea of the smartphone that other people were using and then made it his and made it perfect. Elon Musk didn't invent Tesla. He did not invent the electric car. He saw electric cars. He took that idea and made it perfect. Steve Jobs didn't. Bill Gates actually bought the UI and the software from Microsoft from a company for $50,000. He didn't even code it himself. I can go on and on. Jeff Bezos didn't invent e-commerce. He just perfected it. So find wholesalers that are doing really well and outright steal their systems. Nothing illegal, nothing about intellectual property, but if you're in Houston, Texas, and this guy is just making so much money hand over fist, pulling the code violations in Houston, steal it. Like I'm giving you permission and I'm gonna get flack for this. But the greatest entrepreneurs of all time have done this. And it's something you can do to get wildly rich wholesaling real estate. If they're doing this list in this channel in that market, you know it's going to work. So go use it, make it your own, and boom, you're gonna get rich wholesaling. It's just facts. 6, and something a lot of people are gonna be mad at me for, but work-life balance is a complete myth. And as somebody that is 25 years old, that has gone through a lot of what I would call grinding, I don't believe in that I suffered, but I was definitely grinding. I've been through the ringer. I have skipped a lot of friends' meetups. I've skipped a lot of dating when I was younger to have the ability to just go all in on my business. And looking back, should I have done it all? I don't regret a thing because it's brought me to where I'm at now. And I've met the people in my life now because of where I'm at here. But the thought that you need to have work-life balance, and I'll be honest with you, I've had family members sit down and tell me like, Zach, you need to relax. Like you don't need to be working so hard. And I was 20 years old and I was on the brink of about to become a millionaire, right? I hit millionaire at 20 years old. I'm like, you're not a millionaire and you're giving me advice and I don't want to be where you're at in life. And it's a really hard conversation to have with yourself. And obviously don't tell your family members this, but when you're on your deathbed, you don't want to have any regrets. And when you were young, like under the age of 23, with no kids, and if you're not married, you need to go all in. Like the video games, the fun, the partying, it will be there, especially when you're older because you're gonna have infinite money, right? And for me sitting behind this camera today talking to you as somebody that is a multi-millionaire many times over, it was all worth it to be this rich, this young. To be a multi-millionaire many times over at 25 is like, in my opinion, being a billionaire when you're 70 or 80. Because I have energy and youth and unlimited potential in my life. I can do whatever, whenever I want. So grinding in your early 20s and as a teenager, if you have the ability, if you're 17 watching this, like, do it. You will not regret it. Guys, if you just go all in and you really put all your effort in and kind of screw your work-life balance, you have the greatest possible chance of success. And Elon Musk says this a lot: stack the odds in your favor. How can I increase the chance of me getting my first deal this year by the most percent possible, right? How do I get the best odds? And usually you put the most work in and you have the best odds of success. Now, the one caveat I will tell you is do listen to your body. If grinding like crazy is going to make you fat and not work out, don't do it. I think you should dedicate at least an hour a day to working out and eating right, because that will actually hurt you down the line, because if you have a heart attack at 50 years old, that's a lot less income producing activities. But the whole work-life balance, I'm telling you, I've done plenty 16, 17-hour days for months at a time. It's worth it. Number 7 here, equity determines your assignment fee. Really, if you look at a lead and it is at 10% equity, you are not making a $60,000 assignment fee. Like, that is the determining factor. A lot of people think the determining factor of your assignment fee is what the seller is willing to take. And that is true to a point. But you gotta understand, if the seller wants a crazy price, if you know how to close and you know how to really have a conversation with them, build rapport, there's a chance that you can get them down that price. And if they have equity, you are able to do that, right? You can always go down in price. You can never really change equity. And so the one variable that is just rigid and you can't change is going to be equity. So equity is really going to be the determining factor of how much you're going to make on the deal. Every deal that I make that's over $100,000 or more, there is a massive amount of equity with the seller, which means if you want to get big deals, do high equity. That's why I have X leads, where you can pull the best data possible with equity filtering. Number 8, go for no. I never invented the concept of go for no. Go for no is actually a sales book I read back in the day, and one that Rick has always just preached about. But it's just the simple story of going for that no, and how it's one of the most effective ways to get deals done. And we actually give this to every single salesperson and every single acquisitions person in our company, even have VAs virtually read it. But the simple lesson here is you never know what the seller truly is willing to take on the property. What I mean by this is a seller might say they want $250 for the house, but really their bottom line price is $200, but you got to get it out of them. If you ever watch Pawn Stars, you kind of know what I'm talking about, where yeah, that's what they want. That's their asking price, but really they'll take $200. So they ask for $250 and you say, well, can you do $230? You just left 30 grand on the table. What you want to do is offer $170, $160. They say no, well, what are you at? And then boom, you negotiate from there. If the seller's motivated enough, even if you lowball them, they will say yes. Even if you lowball them, they'll actually renegotiate with you and say, hey, can you go up to this price if they're motivated? Number 9, nobody cares about your problems. I'm being completely honest with you. I don't care about your issues in life. Your friends really don't care. Your strangers don't care across the street what's going on with you. Really, the only person that truly cares about your problems is your mom and maybe your dog. That's pretty much it. Your cat does not care about your problems, I promise you. So knowing that, why are we going to go explain and cry and vent to other people about our problems in life? The best way to solve your problems in life is by actually changing your actions and the way you think and the things you do. So if you're the type of person that has this belief that, hey, I wake up late, well, just get up in the morning and make that change. I promise you, it is physically not impossible to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning. It is something you just put the alarm on. Having that belief that you're not good at talking to sellers is a belief. It is not a true thing. And if you tell yourself you are and you get better at it, you will become more successful at this. So nobody's going to care about your problems. Understanding that, you are the only person that can solve that problem, and you're really the only person that cares about that issue. Heck, your mom cares that maybe you're broke, living alone, but what is she going to do to really fix that? Nothing. And so what you need to start doing is taking life in your own hands. This is the American dream. This is what you can do right now by just talking to sellers and wholesaling real estate. Number 10, your family and friends won't understand. And it's a really hard pill to swallow, but Your friends and family are not going to understand why you're working so hard. They're not going to understand why you're putting bandit signs out. They're not going to understand why you have "we buy ugly houses" on your Facebook profile. They're not going to understand any of this stuff. They're going to act confused. They're going to say, "Why are you doing this, John? Like, this is a little weird. Why do you keep calling people at dinner time? Like, what's going on here?" And they do this from a place of love. I really want you to understand that they're scared that you're stuck in this MLM, crazy crypto, multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, right? That's the first assumption. And honestly, like, I don't blame them, right? If you go to like, "Hey, I got this new day trading thing," probably a scam, right? Everyone's going to tell you it's a scam because that's automatically the first thing they think about. You can make money quick. Although they know this has been something people have done for hundreds of years to make money quick, but your family and friends want to understand, especially as a beginner. But when you're rich, your family and friends will understand that you're rich and you are successful. And the funny thing about it, and I know it feels good now to say it, but like, you're not in there yet, but like, your friends and family said they didn't believe in you starting out and it's a scam. The other one says, "I've supported you since day one." It's always a funny, ironic thing, but it is 100% true. Number 11, busy equals broke. A lot of people, especially very organized people, sometimes feel like if they're just working, they get the results. And I've seen this more when I was in college than anything else, where people would study for 8 or 9 hours at a time and say, "I'm grinding, I'm studying hard, I had a hard day's of work today." And they'd get like a B+ on the test. And I was somebody who would spend like an hour or two studying and then get an A+. And we both did the same amount of work, except I got better results. Was it because I'm magically better than other people? No, I was just more efficient when I studied. And that 7 hours I could have used towards wholesaling real estate. So I was very efficient when I had to study. And I think a lot of wholesalers do that the same way, right? They will spend 7 or 8 hours trying to compile a list and make it perfect and stack it and watch all these YouTube videos and study, which, yeah, watch YouTube videos, fine, but like, don't make it your life's mission to just do more content consuming than action taking. Being busy means you're broke. Doing work and actually getting leads is what's going to make us money. Talking to cash buyers is going to make us money. So really make a big change on not being busy and making logos and perfecting our CRM, and just go out here and do it. The work is what speaks for itself. The deals speak for themselves, not all this other busy fluff we're doing. Number 12, know when to walk away from the wholesaling deal. This is a really important one, but there is a fortune in the follow-ups with your leads. And more importantly, there is a fortune with a seller coming back after they are just too crazy on their price. Now, I do have a formula, right, where I do have a process where if the seller wants too much, I still lowball, I still try to get a number to work, and if the numbers don't work, I simply just walk away from the deal. And there is a good percentage of those people that come back after follow-up and follow-up and follow-up that we end up getting the deal. So there is money in walking away. Now, that is, of course, one of my last things I ever want to do, but it's better to do that than lock up a deal that you know is way too high and you're never going to sell and you're going to burn your buyer's list and ultimately waste your time. That's why learning how to comp is really important, and doing it fast is even more important. But know when to walk away from the deal. One thing I do is if the seller wants too much, I'm always going to offer if they are willing to take payments on the property, right? Hey, can I just give you payments where I might give you a little bit up front and I pay you every single month for a certain amount of time? Now, usually they say no, but sometimes you're like, that's a great idea. Just know exactly the right way to be dealing with these sellers so you can end up closing more deals. Number 13, cash buyers are there. Go and find them. What I mean by this is if you're in a decently sized city, right? Like, so if your county is more than 100,000 people, right? There are buyers everywhere, right? As somebody that has developed X Leads and the whole dispo tools in there, there's buyers in every metro market, right? They're buying properties, there's landlords, there's hedge funds, they're all there. And so your ability, if you are in a market and say there's no cash buyers, heck, I had a guy that told me the other day, he's like, there's no cash buyers in Miami. I'm like, what in the world are you talking? I'm a cash buyer in Miami. Some of you guys are so dang funny in your beliefs that there's no cash buyers in Detroit at all, which is just hilarious to me because I sell a lot of deals in Detroit. Cash buyers are there. You just got to go find them. Check out the 4 rents. Go just use the dispo software at X Leads. Go to Facebook groups, JV with another person. The buyers are there. People are wholesaling there. It's not the buyer that's the issue. It is you. So one thing you have to understand when people say that they can't sell their deal, it's because there's not enough buyers in the market or they just haven't talked to enough buyers. And I always ask someone that, like, I can't sell this deal. It's like, well, are there no buyers in your market, or you just haven't talked to enough buyers? And if they're in a bigger market like Dallas or Houston, I'm like, dude, it's you haven't talked to enough buyers. It ain't that there's no buyers in Dallas, okay? So if you want to sell your deal, just go out here and find the buyers. They're out there, and the knowledge to find them is all there. Number 14, software won't solve all of your problems. And as somebody that talks about X Leads and tells you it's the greatest software ever, right? Sometimes a lot of other influencers and people kind of get stuck in the space of the software's revolutionary. It's going to change the world. It's going to do everything for you. And yes, I believe X Leads is the best software out there, but it's only a shovel. And what I mean by this is, if you're looking to dig, yeah, digging with your hands, you can definitely get there, but digging with a shovel, you're going to be a lot better. But if you just use the shovel for an hour versus digging with your hands for 8 hours, the guy who digs with his hands for 8 hours is going to be the guy with the shovel. But the point is, if you use a shovel for 8 hours, boom, like you're done. You got it done. You got the deals. So the thing is, a lot of people think that the only thing stopping them is software, and really it's not. Software is amazing, and if you're in a non-disclosure state, software is actually even more important because you need to get good comps. But really stop overestimating that software is going to be the difference, the thing that's going to make you a success or not success in wholesaling. Number 15, confidence comes from beliefs and the reps you do. So I've been talking about beliefs a lot today, but believing that you are confident is 80% of the confidence game. And the definition that I have of confidence is the belief in the words you say and the actions you take. So when I tell a seller that, hey, Mr. Seller, me and my partner are looking to buy your property for cash, I say that in your face, I say that eye to eye, and I say that with conviction, with true belief in my heart, that me and my partner Rick can buy your house. If I don't believe I'm gonna do it, I might say, hey, this is Zach, me and our partner are looking to buy your house for cash. Do you see how like I'm stuttering my words? I'm saying ums and buts and filler words, which I still do. You know, we're never perfect here, but you just want to reduce that as much as you can. Versus when you believe something, you sound more confident, right? So like the best example I do is somebody that loves video games. I'm like, well, what's your favorite video game? And they're like, oh, it's Black Ops 6. I'm like, well, tell me about Black Ops 6. What's your layout? And they're like, oh, my layout's this, and I got this grenade and that. And they just talk without any ums or buts. There's no stuttering. They're excited. They're happy. It's like asking a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, like, what's his favorite LeBron moment? And they'll tell you word for word, he did the spin, the dunk. It's funny that like you hear them talk about like that. And then when they get in front of the seller, they're like, oh. And the only difference between asking about their favorite LeBron play and moment versus talking to the seller is they believe in their heart that that's the best LeBron moment, and they will tell you about it, right? Versus them just trying to make things up on the fly with the seller. And so it's just repetitions. And when you do it enough times, you're like, I know I can do this because I've done it so much, especially when talking to sellers. It's the same exact thing for your confidence. Just believe in yourself. 16, your brain diet is everything. Guys, everyone focuses on their food diet and looking good, and that's all great too. But your brain diet, the diet that you feed your brain, is almost as important as the food you consume. You have a lot of health problems if you become overweight or if you neglect some part of your body, right? But the same thing happens with your brain, because if you are just fed into drama and hate and, oh my gosh, can you believe what the Kardashians did and this person and then politics and all these crazy things, you just feel like the world is a terrible place and it's the worst it's ever been, when really it's not. Life is a lot better now than it was growing up in the 1910s. I promise you that for 99% of Americans watching this. Back in the 1600s, if you got a little cut, you might die from gangrene. So life is a lot better now. We're living longer, the food's better, and we all don't have to be farmers every day. But the media and the videos you watch and the people you talk to are feeding things in your brain and feeding you beliefs. So it's really important to understand that the diet that we have for our brain is almost as important as the food we eat. So really have a better outlook on life. Actually start thinking in positive ways and think as a winner does. Be nice and kind, but also be strong and courageous with yourself. And I'm telling you, if you start feeding your brain good videos and good content and positive things and nice philosophical things on how to be the best guy or gal possible and positivity, you are going to be better, more positive, you're going to think better, and you're going to just do more. So focus on the content you consume and the information that you think of and the way you think, because you can You are what you think, but the coolest part is you can change the way you think whenever you want. 17, and probably one of the most important lessons here, but you only lose when you quit. Really understand that. You guys, you can go 8 years in wholesaling without doing a deal, and you're not a loser. You only lose this business when you quit. Every moment that you keep going, you're getting better and better and better, and you're learning more and you're gaining skills. So just understand that, yeah, you might not be where you want to be now. And maybe there's a lot more you have to do, but you are getting closer to that end goal and you will do it. Just don't quit. Keep going. On that topic, we're going to do this 18 also. Just focus on 12, 12, 12. And what I mean by this is if you can go 12 hours a week of wholesaling work for 12 months straight, right? So 12 hours a week for 12 months, and you do that collectively for 12 years, there is a 0% chance that you are going to be broke. And I know it's like, 12 years, wow! And I get it, right? It makes complete sense. Like that's way too long in the horizon, but I can almost put my life on the line here and put my reputation here is if a human being is willing to endure 12 hours of marketing every year for 12 years straight, they are going to do deals, they're going to consistently make money, and they're just going to eventually make it big in wholesaling. The funny part is if you did that with basketball, I can't guarantee you're going to be in the NBA, but I can almost guarantee you're going to be successful in wholesaling because the barrier to 6 figures or the barrier to 7 figures in wholesaling is so much lower than in the NBA. There's only a certain amount of roster spots, but there's only billions of dollars in revenue when it comes to making money in the NBA, when there is just trillions being flown through every single day in the real estate industry. This is why the NBA players are rich and the NBA owners are wealthy, because the NBA owners are businessmen, not athletes. Number 19, focus on income producing activities. I cannot stress this enough. When you're doing something, is it going to be producing income for you or is it not going to be producing income for you? For example, you comping properties for an hour and a half on one deal, is that really the best use of your time? Is that going to produce you income, or is winging it after 15 minutes of comping and then just going back to marketing going to be the thing that's actually going to move the needle for your success in wholesaling? I would argue the 15 minutes of comping and then the 60 minutes of marketing is going to be way better at producing more income than doing the 75 minutes of comping. Now, if you're going to actually buy the house yourself and flip it, then yeah, sure, go on that. But like in wholesaling specifically, it's like focus on things that are actually going to make you income and make you money. That's how you really get rich. Number 20, live on 30% of your income. I know this is a crazy stat. I know this is just a crazy rule that I have. And when you start making more money like me, I should live on I only live on like 5 or 6%. Because really when you make millions and millions of dollars, there's only a certain amount of things you can buy, right? And then if you don't buy jets and yachts, it gets kind of hard to spend 20% of my income. And I'm not saying that arrogantly, but especially starting out, right? If you're able to budget well, especially as a young man or woman, if you can just live off of 20 or 30% of your income, pay taxes on the rest, and then whatever's left over, you just invest it, compound interest as a young person is just going to go insane for you. Like $100,000 will turn into $1 million easily over 10, 15 years if you just invest in real estate. Now, there's obviously no guarantees in life, but it's the surest thing you can get in investing. So if there's one thing I can tell you is don't blow your money. Make a rule, you only live off of 30%. And I promise you, you invest that money over the next 10, 15 years, if you can make 6 figures, you are going to become a millionaire. And then you can wholesale to just wholesale, not wholesale to make a living. 21, there is a 6-figure JV gold mine war chest that you are not accessing. Guys, you got to tap into the 6-figure war chest and really call it a 7-figure one. But like, I believe in my heart, like right now in my heart, that anybody can make 6 figures this year just going inside of zachdiscord.com and the freewholesaling.com community, just JVing with other people. Like it's that simple. Who needs help selling their deals? You go get X leads, use that as dispo, and you can just make a stupid amount of money doing it. Zachdiscord.com is the Discord. Freewholesaling.com, the word freewholesaling.com is the community and course, which is $0. It's absolutely for free. That is just an insane gold mine for success for you. You just gotta let people know who you are and JV, and you're gonna get rich. Number 23, prioritize, don't stress. And this is something that I really have struggled with starting out, but once I was able to just kind of change my thinking of this, my whole life changed. And I just get really stressed of how overwhelmed I was and how much I was working and all these crazy things. And I just learned that like I was balancing all this stuff in my head and I was going crazy. What I learned was to just make a list of the 15 things I had to get done and then do list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And my life was way easier. And doing that and just prioritizing what I had to get done most important on the top and least important on the bottom, I was able to be way more efficient and I wasn't stressed because the things I had were already on paper. That's why employees are sometimes more efficient when you tell them, hey, just go manage the grocery store or go clean up around here versus just getting itemized tasks of what they have to clean up. If you give them the itemized tasks, they actually do it better than just telling them, just clean up. Number 24, eyeballs over drama. Anybody can go give me a dramatic sob story about how they're not getting deals and their marketing sucks and nothing's working. But really, eyeballs are going to be the most important thing. And I'm not like a spooky guy talking about eyeballs, but like eyeballs on your message. If you can talk to 1,000 people who are on a motivated seller list of a code violation, pre-foreclosure, whatever it is, and they actually see and are getting the message from a text or call or sticky note, door knock, whatever it is, that you're looking to buy houses for cash, you're going to get deals. You are actually going to become successful wholesaling. And if you're someone that, oh, I did 1,000 calls, but nobody picked up, it doesn't count. No eyeballs saw the message. They just got a missed call. So the eyeballs and the actual attention of the motivated sellers actually getting in front of them, actually getting contacts is going to be the real thing we got to look at, not the drama of why things aren't working. Prioritize people actually looking at your message versus just doing the work. Number 25, last but not least, winners endure, losers suffer. And this is all a mindset shift, right? If you're going to work really hard and you're going to get up at 4 a.m. to put bandit signs out, you're going to cold call all day and just grind, right? The people that are not going to become successful, they're going to look at that as suffering. They're going to look at that as, oh, I'm suffering. Oh, this is terrible. Versus a winner who says, I'm going to endure this pain. Yeah, this is not fun. This sucks. You can acknowledge that it sucks. But what you're going to do is look at it as grinding and enduring versus just suffering. And you can acknowledge there's pain, but suffering is in the mind versus enduring. So really having that mindset shift of enduring versus suffering is going to make you do more work, more motivated, getting ready to go, and truly understanding it's not that you're tired that is the problem. You don't have something that is motivating you enough to overcome being tired, which is being broke and retiring your mom and changing your life. That's what's going to change everything. So that is how you move the needle in 2025 wholesaling real estate. Guys, if you got any value from this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go through my free wholesaling course and community, freewholesaling.com. We got the Ginn games going on right now, a lot of great prizes, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a blessed one.